Hey everyone. Welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel and this is my reality. I wanted to come on here real quick because I saw Dame Dash has given a response to I guess I would say Jay-Z's response to being accused of raping a 13-year-old victim back however many years ago. Let me first say everything on Chanel's Reality is in my opinion. It's for entertainment purposes only. And it is all alleged. So before we get started, I want to pop on over to Sloan Bella. I love listening to what she has to say about Jay-Z. So let me share my screen real quick. And let's listen to what Sloan Bella has to say.
Now, having said that, I get Jay-Z connected to Clive Davis, connected to P. Diddy. And so there's a succession of things happening. Clive is old right now, so he's probably next in line, but I'm kind of shooting off with Chris Brown, and then I'm shooting off with Justin Bieber, and then I'm kind of going to MC Hammer. Like, it's happening. These people are being used on different levels to take other people's money, clean it, move things all about the country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the converse, move things all about.
So I bring her in because she predicted she did what she calls a energetic reading or whatever. She's a psychic medium, and she did it with Kim Porter, who is P. Diddy's she had, I think, 3 or 4 children with P. Diddy. Kim Porter did, and she's no longer with us. Rest her soul in peace. But Sloan Bella was channeling her energy allegedly, and one of the things, most of the things that she said she was being channeled during that video, Sloan Bella said all has come to pass so far, most of it. And so then now she's talking about Jay-Z. Now, the reason I bring her up is because if y'all remember, or if you watched my other video where I was responding to Jay-Z's response to being sued by this victim who was allegedly 13 and allegedly raped by him when she was 13. In that response, he says, with y'all's, what did he I forget exactly how he said it, but he was basically like, with your conspiracy theorists and your fake psychics. I think Sloan Bella might be in Jay-Z's category of fake psychics. But all I'm gonna say is, Jay, if you watch it, sir, listen, she's a real one. She's the one that you could probably bank on whatever her reading is. I'm not saying she's God, obviously, or that she knows all things, but she was so spot on with Diddy, it almost makes it to where he's like, I don't have a reason to distrust what she's saying. But she says in here, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. She gets it when she says that. So anyway, let's finish listening to what she has to say, and then we'll get into what Dame Dash has to say about his boy.
The country under the guise of their creative talents. Now, Jay-Z, this is going to come to a screeching halt. Screeching halt. Russell Simmons pops up in the conversation, okay? In the conversation. So I have not heard head nor tail of Russell Simmons. He pops right in right now for months. I mean, he went off somewhere and who the hell knows where he went. Those words, that hiding will come to play in the future months. We're going to see conversation from Russell Simmons. It's either behind the scenes, something that is going to bring about a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening right now with a takedown, and it's just waiting for them to be taken down, and they've been promised otherwise. They have been promised otherwise. They, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all of the other ones I mentioned, but this is about Jay-Z, they are in the process. Now, what I am seeing is Jay-Z's beginning, okay? So the succession of being unraveled in the next 3 years starts with a burglary of something. So Jay-Z is in the process of having some connection to missing burglarized items, and it's going to come up around him. That's the first marker. And I'm not sure what it is he steals. I don't know if this is a stolen song, a stolen item, a stolen car. I don't know what it is, but it is a burglary of something. I have stolen, and now I'm being accused of taking this. And that is the beginning of it, because they will start nosing around with him. So there's like a lot of nosing around. It's in the theft of something. And by theft, I don't quite know what I mean by that, but it's by the theft of something. And when you look at that, it just draws attention to him, and they don't like attention drawn to them. I also feel.
So I'm gonna stop it there because she's gonna go on to talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce and how she thinks they sleep. It's kind of creepy. So I like listening to Sloan Bella tell people, talk to us about the people. But I actually do think that Sloan Bella is the psychic he was referring to in his little rant. So now the Jasmine brand has Damien, or I don't know how you say his name, Dame Dash, chiming in on Jay-Z. So let's take a listen.
What do you think about the Jay allegations that came out?
Well, I can say this. I've been looking at the news, and a couple of weeks ago I saw that, that attorney had got sued for extortion. And I saw the lawyers that were on the case, and I saw that Alex Shapiro, or whatever his name is. So I was like, damn, homie might be jammed up or be a part of that. But I didn't think too much of it. I was definitely surprised at the long statement because, I've been to court with homeboy and he doesn't say anything. He never responds. He has his lawyer speak. So I know that it must bother him because he actually said something in the length of the statement.
What y'all think? What do y'all think? He says more. Hold on, let me get it. Dame Dash. Let me see if this is it. Hold on. Oh my God. Who are these people? I can't take it. Hold, please. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to the longer version of what Dame Dash has to say about Jay-Z. Hold on. I don't think this is the same thing. Is it? No, this is not it. Hold on. No. No, that's the Cam Capone person. Maybe this one has more. Let's see. Okay, hold on. All right, I think I found what I was looking for. So let me stop sharing and then let me share my screen again. And let's see if I have the right one now. Looks like that's the right one. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's go ahead and push play.
I can say this. I've been looking at the news, and a couple of weeks ago I saw that, that attorney had got sued for extortion. And I saw the lawyers that were on the case, and I saw that Alex Shapiro, or whatever his name is. So I was like, damn, homie might be jammed up or be a part of that. But I didn't think too much of it. I know that in my personal experience that I've gotten that demand letter on like a Christmas Eve, a week after me and Rocky just lost a baby. We were in Hawaii. All of a sudden I get an email saying from the lawyer, Chris Brown, this is not allegedly, this really happened. But I guess I'll say allegedly just in case, allegedly. But I got that letter and I forgot how many millions it was. And it was a ridiculous allegation. And I was still grieving the loss of an unborn child, but I was definitely angry because number one, those allegations were ridiculous. And it was from a person that we had caught. And again, I'm gonna say allegedly because I got sued for saying she stole, but because we caught her allegedly trying to steal. So I had a tape of us catching her, this girl, and it just seemed like it was very retaliatory and, it just was something that was ridiculous. So, I felt like they were trying to extort me. So I called my lawyer and my lawyer looked at it that way, like, this is ridiculous. So my lawyer at the time, called the feds and they said they were investigating it or whatever. But at the end of the day, what my lawyer told me was, listen, you'll go through the trial. It's not true, it's ridiculous, and it won't stand up. And then after that, you'll be able to sue for any loss of business that you had, and that it could potentially be a frivolous lawsuit. So, I put that video up. And again, I caught this girl stealing or whatever, allegedly. And that's one of the charges that I had was defamation, because she didn't, in fact, steal. I just had busted her trying to leave with $5,000 worth of equipment, allegedly. I don't want to get sued. But because of that word, I think they hit me for 40 grand just for that. But then I did an interview, because I had a lot to say. And to me, statements are meant to be quick and short. But if I'm being transparent and I'm being truthful, then I have no problem saying my side of the story with no exposure. So I did a radio interview right then and there. For me, full transparency is important. Because of the way I approached it, I think my children already knew what the drill was, like, in the rest of the world. Because I get these questions, like, because people have been texting me, calling me all day, all night. And they like, well, this affects his reputation and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, if he goes through the trial, because when they say like a money grab, it's not a money grab to me. It's more like if somebody comes to me and says, yo, I'm accusing you of raping a 13-year-old and you want to settle, it's like, that's unsettlable. If it didn't happen, I'm not settling that, because it's like saying you admitted to doing something. That's an offer that you can't settle on some allegation like that. You know, you got to take that to trial. To me, you know, that's how I would look at it. So I don't think this lawyer came with the intention of thinking that, you know, someone like Homeboy was going to settle. And then you have to actually prove it.
Hey Houston, get into Dick's Sporting Goods now and come check out the store that I have decorated for the holidays.
Over the past 120 years, we've fueled our fair share of drives. Each one
So what happens is, and this is from my personal experience, you know, first they try to dismiss it, but that never happens. It's just, to me, a procedure so lawyers get paid. And then you have to have discovery, and then there's the deposition. So there's where it could be problematic, because either way, if this case goes forward, there will be a deposition. And that's where you can ask that person anything about anything. And that's where a lot of other things can happen. And you can't lie, because that's the purpose of a deposition, is if you say something that's not true and then they prove it, now your word is discredited. You impeach yourself. So that's the purpose of a deposition, to get you to say something on paper and say something different in the courtroom. And then, okay, and then that's what happens. And, you know, that's where things can get tricky, you know? So for me personally, you know, I've gone through that where I've been accused and then go through a whole trial. And in the trial, it just doesn't stand up. It falls apart. You know, if you're lying, it just comes out. At least that's what my experience has been. You know, but it's definitely traumatizing. Like my girl, you know, in my situation, they accused my girl as well, just because they were trying to get in her pockets, allegedly. So I know that the toll it took on my girl, because she never went through nothing like that before, you know? And then I remember back to, you know, me being accused of something again, and it was on the cover of the New York Post, and me talking to my son, and it was the first time he was like, yo, you ain't got to take me to school today. Like, I remember that conversation, and me saying, yeah, I don't want to bring that attention to you. You don't deserve it. But, you know, bottom line is it wasn't true. So being in the public eye means you have the exposure, because unfortunately, anyone can accuse you of something and you have to go to court. But it does have to stand up. And if you lose $1 because of that false accusation and it becomes frivolous, then you have a potential lawsuit against the person that brought one to you. It's just a patience thing and the tolerance to go through. But it's like, I don't want to say it's part of the game, but unfortunately, like, it happens a lot, these accusations. So, you know, for me, I can't remember 2000, that MTV. I'm trying to think, like, what party? You know, this is me now personally. Like, I don't know. I don't remember. So I don't know. I would always think and try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But on a personal level, I can't remember. I don't remember being at that party. I remember that outfit with J-Lo and Puff with the white t-shirts and watching that on TV. I don't remember going to the party, but I could be wrong. But I haven't seen pictures. If I know my outfit, I usually know what I did. I can remember based on my outfit. That gives me sort of context. But I don't see that. So I don't know. I was definitely surprised at the long statement, because, you know, I've been to court with Homeboy and he doesn't say anything. He never responds. He has his lawyer speak. So I know that it must bother him, because he actually said something, and the length of the statement, you know. And it was funny because Honor Up just came out the night before, and I'm hearing words like honor in the statement. But again, you know, for me, I have nothing to do with it, and I'm trying to, like, look at it objectively like everyone else is. So for me, it's like, of course, people are going to be like in the bots, the stupid ass bots, and people that are just like, I don't know, but they're going to be always talking about it again. But right now, the whole world is talking about it, every day, all day. So then it made me think about being famous and how dangerous that is, because they're really, you know, they're doing the same thing that happened with Puff as far as the way the algorithm is. To me, it's worse. And they're scrutinizing every single thing from the last 20, 30 years. Every lyric, I've been sensed up. They take the statement and put it in AI. I'm seeing Forbes flip. It's like, it's just, people could love you one day, but they just love that to really hate you so much more. And that was a person that I was like, he can't do no wrong. I know, because, you know, for some reason, every single thing I say is considered smart, except when it comes to him. I'm smart about everything.
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need with full business.
But that,
You know, what's crazy is how the seasons change, because I remember watching that video of Dame Dash on the Breakfast Club, and he was giving DJ Ivy or Envy or whatever the hell his name is, the entire business, like the entire business. And I didn't even like Dame. I was like, that was the first time I ever heard this man speak. I never knew of him or anything like that. So that was like bananas to me. But then now I got compassion for bro, because I really do think he is heartbroken that he's not friends with Jay-Z anymore, and that he doesn't have the money he had before and things like that. But I think now he's kind of, he probably at this point in life feels protected. He probably like, good, I'm glad me and that dude ain't good no more, because I don't want to have any parts of this. You know, everybody, listen, everybody day will come and these tables will turn. And I think he's seeing that now. So anyway, let's finish listening.
so I'm like, I mean, all right. And I'm not saying, because again, I have no idea what happened there. And I'm hoping everything is where I would prefer that no one got hurt, to be honest. But I didn't think that they would flip on him like that. And it's crazy. And then I'm like, yo, how does TikTok and all these people that, like they say, sound crazy, like Cat Williams is looking like, because not to say things are true, but he said things would be exposed. Mm-hmm. So he's really looking like a fortune teller. and you know, like Jaguar and all that, like, regardless, it's like, why are the people that are looked at to be imbalanced saying these things, and then they're actually happening? Like, how is TikTok, pause. How is TikTok? Like, I'm looking at TikTok and it's like, yo, they've been prepping this moment for the last 6 months.
Dang, get off TikTok.
TikTok has been literally saying that this was going to happen.
Dang.
And then it happened.
Get off TikTok. I'm here for
and
it.
I'm like, that's crazy.
It is.
Like, are these people that are looked at as imbalanced, are they really like prophets? And when I say prophet, because again, I can't know that what they're saying is true, but what they said was going to happen as far as exposure and people being accused of allegations, it's all been 100. They always said Homeboy was next. A week ago, I did an interview, and you know, and they asked me about, like, what do you think about them saying Jay's next? And I'm like, I don't really care. You know, but of course, as a human being, I'm like, damn, I wonder what's going to happen. And then I was like looking again when I saw the initial extortion case. What was said was that multiple lawsuits were threatened, and it included men and kids and all type of shit. So I'm like, damn. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, just based on what I'm seeing, it must mean, you know, they lining them up for more lawsuits. At least this is what it looks like based on that paperwork. And I'm like, I really didn't think. It's just crazy how one day everything, it's like, this is like the epitome, it was all good just a week ago. Mm-hmm. And
definitely,
you know, I just never seen Homeboy explain himself ever.
I know, that's why I was tripping too.
So that was different for me. But I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like, you know, this world is changing rapidly. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the stuff that the people that we thought were crazy are saying are actually happening. And how the hell do they know? Like, how do they know? And also people like, you know, I'm looking now on a business level. I'm like, now, if this isn't true, it should be easy to beat. But until it's beat, pause. I don't see how corporate could support, or what can he do? And I'm watching. I'm like, now, if, you know, because the difference between him and me, or let's say even him and Kanye, is that he's really tied into corporate. So if corporate shuts his life, like, he really has the ability to be canceled.
So, you know, what's very interesting to me about Dame Dash bringing up the corporate aspect is I've been on the internet today, not a lot because I went to the dentist, but I've been on the internet today, and a lot of the internet people have been saying that the NFL isn't going to denounce Jay-Z. They're not going to, you know, go against him, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, anybody can be replaced. Be very clear. Anybody can be replaced. But as far as the internet is concerned today, Jay lives another day. I just don't know how much longer the NFL is going to be able to be tied to him. But that being said, I also don't think that this is Jay-Z's knockdown day. Like, I don't think this case is the case, but I do think there is one coming. Anyway, let's keep listening to what Mr. Dame Dash has to say.
I don't think it would be as easy for him to go independent and sell product on his own, like Kanye's had to go do. His stuff has always been corporately funded, and those are the people that put him on a pedestal. So I was like, now I'm gonna see how much they really support him. And if they're gonna treat him like they treat every other person when they, you know, have to wear something like that on them. Pause. So, you know, I'm wondering what's the NFL gonna do now. If they don't do nothing, then I'm like, yo, he with them. He got people with him. But I would think that the reason why he has to now speak is because all that corporate shit must be in jeopardy. It just has to be based on the algorithm, you know. And then I wonder how objective certain platforms are going to be, the ones that have been holding them down every single second for the last 30 years, what their perspective is on it. Will they be objective? You know, because I know how I was treated. But what I can say is this: when I went through it, the scrutiny was nothing like this. You know, the way they're breaking it down on TikTok and on social media and how they're talking about it in pop culture, I've never had to sustain that. My kids have never had to go through that. So whether it's true or not, again, in this moment, I'd rather be me.
TikTok, sir.
Just minding my business,
Minding your business.
being creative.
You deserve Cottonelle's softest ever ripples for a comfortable clean.
I just won $60,000 for my car crash from this app from my phone.
Yeah, I don't believe them people.
And, you know, staying out the way of everyone that may be considered a gray area.
My business over here, okay?
You know? And then I was thinking,
I support that.
Just because I'm a thinking man. I remember when I was selling Reasonable Doubt, the state were the ones that brought up something looks funky over here.
They did.
And they went to the judge, and the judge said, this is going to auction. Let the person that buys this deal with that. Mm-hmm. And then the state bought it. And I've never seen anything like that. They did it with credits. No, they didn't get no money for it. They took the L to get that, so that I think maybe, and I'm just a thinking man, so now they have the right to go into all the books.
Mm-hmm. So listen, this is what I was saying about so with Cassie. So you know how I've been saying, you know, we have these statutes of limitation and they just are in place to basically, you know, limit the victims of sexual assault or whatever, right? That's what the statutes, that's who those statutes protect, in my opinion. So the reason that I bring that up is because the statute of limitation had already been gone a long time ago. Cassie and the rest of those victims that filed lawsuits or civil suits or whatever, based on the statutes of limitations, shouldn't have been able to do it. But the Southern District of New York said, we're going to open it up And we're going to let victims from whenever come forward and file a suit, a civil suit, whatever, right? That's what the Southern District of New York did. Now, at the time, I knew nothing about this, right? I didn't know nothing about the Southern District of New York, and I certainly didn't know about them opening up this time frame where victims could come forward. The reason that's important is because I believe, just like what Dame Dash is saying, I can't believe I'm really agreeing with him, but just like what he's saying right now about what happened with him and trying to sell reasonable doubt, right? He was trying to sell it to pay for his child support or something. He says that the state of New York or whoever basically came and paid for that. And they said, well, we'll let whoever deal with it later. The reason I bring that up with what he's saying is in comparison to what happened with Cassie, because the same reason, in my opinion, that the Southern District of New York allowed all of those victims to come now and say, yes, this happened to me, and we're going to remove the statutes of limitation for a year so that victims can come forward, is so that they could push Cassie's case. Now, I 100% believed everything Cassie is saying in her lawsuit. I do. But I also believe wholeheartedly that that is the sole reason that the Southern District of New York allowed that they removed the statutes for that year, because they had a case against Diddy and whomever else. They had a case for something else. And so therefore they're like, if we got to open this up and let all these lawsuits and civil suits flood in, we'll do that because we have a bigger agenda. And that's what I think Dame is saying. He's saying, to me, in my opinion, that the reason that the judge or the state of New York decided to go ahead and purchase reasonable doubt, because I remember the day he talked about this on his other platform or whatever, he was saying that he didn't even go to court. He was like, no one showed up. No one even bid on it. And Dame is like, that doesn't make any sense. How is it that the person that owns all this music, the musical genius, Jay-Z, how is it that he don't even buy it? That doesn't make any sense. And I remember sitting here listening to him, and I'm like, he's absolutely right. That makes no fucking sense. I would not have my greatest whatever be being sold at an auction, and I don't even buy it. Like, it didn't make any sense. So when Dame is bringing up this idea that he's saying, I think that there's something to this, that these people said, we'll just let whoever buys it later or however it falls, we're going to just let them deal with it later. Like, that doesn't make any sense unless, like he said, you want to pull this, you want to hold the books because you own it now. If the state is after Jay-Z, now we own all of the books and we can see everything. It's sort of like having what they call discovery when you're in court. Both sides, discovery is basically information that both sides obtain, and they have to share it with each other. You can't withhold evidence, right, in a criminal case. So what it sounds like to me, Jay is saying, is that these people, whoever this entity is, they wanted to be able to look at this because they have something cooking for Jay, or they have a little bit of something and they want to add to it. They want to pad the books, or they want to find out some more information. But this is the thing. I think these people already know all of that. I think they already have all of the information, but this is a way for them to have it in a way that nobody can really say they didn't do it the honest way. Not that I think these idiots really believe in honesty, but anyways, let's see. Someone says, Deja, the tarot whisperer. I just hate they talking all the black billionaire men, starting with Bill Cosby. And it's so many white men that get away and or was able to make bail. I guess, Deja, but here's the thing. This don't have nothing to do with black men. Let's be very, 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 very clear. Diddy not being able to make bail is a good thing. It is not a bad thing, regardless of whatever his color might be. And the reason that I'm going to stand 10 toes down in that is because this doesn't have to do with this man's skin color. This has to do with him being an absolute savage. That's why he shouldn't get bail. And Weinstein shouldn't get bail, and Epstein shouldn't have gotten bail all those many times, and Bill Cosby and all the rest of them. They're all guilty of this shit. That's just how I feel about it. You, with sex crimes, in my opinion, you're going to be guilty, and you have to prove that you're innocent, because it's one of those things that since I've worked in sex crimes my whole entire adult life, I'm not changing. I'm not changing on it. I've seen way too many victims. Listen, I'm not changing it. Not regarding that. There's all kinds of other crimes where it's easier and very, you can go and get evidence in so many other crimes. Sex crimes is very difficult to do. because it's done under the cover of dark. So it's between two people. So either I did it or I didn't do it. But the only two people that know are me and the other person. So for me, I get that people want to hang their hat on. Well, I want to support Black men and Black billionaires and Black this, that, and the third. I'm not supporting anybody that is a sexual deviant running around the earth, raping and killing and molesting and doing all this. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care about none of that. All of that shit goes out of the window when you are either when people can't, when you take away someone's right to choose, right? So if you're underage, you can't consent. And if you're under the influence of something, you can't consent. So I know a lot of people out there are like, why do they shine the sunlight on just when the Black people do it? Well, we already know they're going to do that. That's already a known. That's a known. Everybody knows that that's what's going to happen. It's no difference than when you when they have a Black suspect and they don't even actually have a picture or anything of him, they're gonna draw something. They're gonna be like, oh no. We're gonna have to have some sort of description. I know that racism exists. I know that this maybe has an element of that, but I think it has more of an element of the dark underbelly of Hollywood than anything else. Because even if we took race out of it, how is it that everybody in Hollywood has pushed the mute button? Nobody has anything to say. Like, how do you get a whole industry to shut the hell up? Help me understand, because I don't understand that. But they've been able to do it. Let's see what else Deja says. Deja the Terror Whisperer says, I guess you're saying AK LeBron James just went on a personal leave. I wonder what they're trying to do to him. I don't know. I've never heard anything negative about LeBron. I know they've said negative things about his school, and they've tried to disparage him in a lot of different ways. I do agree with that part. But I've not heard, and y'all can let me know, I've not heard head or tail that LeBron has sexually assaulted anybody or any type of devious crimes like that. Like if he was accused of that, to me, that's a different hemisphere. It's a different ball game. But are they going to mess with him because he is he King James over there? Of course they're going to mess with him, because we can't have too many of y'all out here doing it. We just can't. Let's see what else Miss Whisperer has to say. She says Mike Jeffries was out on 10. Now I agree. He definitely was out. And I agree with you when you say they let lots of people out on bail. And really, again, going back to it, if you got enough money, it doesn't matter what your skin color is. And let's be very clear, it really doesn't. If you have enough money, they'll let you out. But I think in this case, the like I was saying, the Southern District of New York, the state, whoever it is, they was not about to let this man out, period, point blank. He's a danger to society. And now that you've let everybody know it, we certainly can't do it then. But I will say I agree with you regarding it's an unfair treatment of, we know that there's systemic racism and institutional racism that's going around in this world. And it's in every institution known to man. It's in our education systems. It's in our banking and financial institutions. It's in our housing departments. It's in our grocery department. Like, it's everywhere. We know racism and institutional racism exists. But I think Diddy is just a menace to society. He's a danger to society. So therefore, I agree with it. Leave his ass in there. Leave all of their asses in there. I don't think none of them motherfuckers should be out on bail, personally. But I don't get to make that decision. And like I said, it's because I worked in sex crimes my whole entire adult career. So I know that these people can look all glittery and gold. And that does not mean that they're not literally shit in person. But because a lot of times people get so caught up in this person, who they think this person is, their public persona, that, oh, okay, this person drives around in a Maybach or a Bentley or a Range Rover or whatever the case may be, and they have a beautiful voice, or they acted really well in that, movie, or they have really good perfume, whatever it is that people, are consuming from these, famous people, that they can't remove the fact that that person is being, well, they can't set aside their stardom for the fact that they're actually a human being. And human beings are gonna do fucked up shit. It just is what it is. It's just a fact. And so some people they could have all of the evidence sitting right there in front of their face, and they still look how many people for all of them years after Jay-Z, I'm not Jay-Z, not Jay-Z, R. Kelly was raping Aaliyah. The people had it on videotape of him doing these things to this young girl, and people still ignored it. Ignored it. Continued to buy this man's music, continue to support this man, going to his concert, all of it. Full throttle. Continued. Even after we have proof this whole grown-ass man then took this young lady to a whole courthouse and married her. He's 27, she's 16 or 15. And yet, what did Jay-Z do? Go and make a whole nother album with this man who we all know is a sexual predator. We all know it. Same thing with Weinstein. All of those people in the film industry. Let me not say all. I hate to use absolutes, but many of the people in that industry knew exactly what Weinstein was up to, and they knew about his tactics. And if you didn't do this, that, or the third, you were going to be blacklisted. They knew it, and they didn't give a shit. Why? Because they turn the other way when it interferes with their money. They just do. My thing is, you should have integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is paying attention. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's saying this is what you should do. That's what you're supposed to have. But it seems to me a lot of these people lack integrity, or they're fearful, which is another reason Diddy ass should need to stay in jail. Because I don't care who you are. Well, I'll say this. My personal opinion is I'm an advocate, but if I saw something and I could help someone out and say that this person did this wrong, like let's say I saw what happened to Cassie and I could come and say, yep, this is what happened. But did he threaten the life of my child or threaten my life or the life of my husband or my mom or something like that? I'm not getting ready to go out there and compromise my life, my children's life, my husband's life, my mom's life, all of that for Cassie, because Diddy is a fucking savage. So I understand on some level why some people sit silently. But for the people that sit with all the damn power and all the damn money and all the damn access, like the Kardashians and all kinds of people, and I'm not calling them out personally, but I'm just saying to give you some perspective, they sit over there and they don't say shit. Of course they know. Of course they knew something. And even if you knew nothing, right? Let's say everybody in Hollywood knew absolutely nothing. Are you not outraged now? Isn't that what Jay-Z said in his response? Shouldn't anyone that does this type of crime be in the jail cell? Isn't that what he said? I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, that's what he said. So how is it if you feel that way, Mr. Z, you haven't said one word about your boy, Diddy? You haven't said Diddy needs to be in jail. Why haven't you said it? Because you probably knew you're going to be up next, like the rest of the internet has said for years, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know none of these people. Deja, the tarot reader, says they said LeBron was at Diddy parties and then he went on a personal leave. Oh, did he now? Is that what they said? Okay, girl. All right. All right. Let's get back to what Mr. What's his name? Dame Dash has to say. Okay.
I'm just looking at the timing of it all.
Let's go back a little bit.
You know, the state were the ones that brought up something looks funky over here.
Mm.
And they went to the judge, and the judge said, this is going to auction. Let the person that buys this deal with that. And then the state bought it. And I've never seen anything like that. They did it with credits. No, they didn't get no money for it. They took the L to get that. So that I think maybe, and I'm just a thinking man, so now they have the right to go into all the books. I'm just looking at the timing of it all. You know, I'm just curious because if y'all look at my other interviews, I was like, yo, I don't understand it. I never seen nothing like this. I don't even know why it went to auction. The person that put it to auction didn't get paid. Why would the state want to buy it? They could have left it alone and just let the money go to them.
Exactly.
But they wanted to own that, so they have the rights to go and investigate those books. I think. Maybe. It's just the timing of everything. So times are different. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to let that distract me from what I'm doing. I'm on my grind.
I know that's
and I hope everything works out for everybody. I hope nobody got hurt. And I hope, you know, because again, I always feel sorry for the kids. You know, like when I saw the screening, I felt sorry for that little girl, you know, I did. She's too young to have to deal with that. And it's a lot to be famous, and that's all you know. And to have to, like, you know, like to have such an aggressive letter, and then to go out and have to pretend that you're that you're unbothered. You know, that unbothered thing, because like when it first happened to Puff, I remember the next day he was out acting unbothered. and look what happened. So for me, like, unbothered to me means worried. Because I know if I was wearing that and I had to go through all of this, I would be outside like, yo, bro, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I know I wouldn't even go out.
Right.
But I wouldn't be like, I'm going to go out and act like nothing's happening, because everyone knows something is. So it was amazing to me that Puff, to the day he went to jail, was in the park acting unbothered. And there's no way that you're not bothered in that scenario, knowing this might be your last day ever in the park. How do you practice this unbothered when your world is crumbling? Because that's something I've never been able to do. When I'm bothered, people know. If I'm outside while something is an issue, I'm going to speak on. I'm not going to ever act like nothing's happening. So I guess my point is, I think the most transparent thing to do, if I'm objective, is I think people want to hear what Homeboy got to say direct. You know? And at this point, if they put him in a deposition, he's going to have to speak to people he don't want to talk to. But I wish everybody the best of luck. And again, this becomes a blow for hip hop once again. You know, it's like bang, bang, bang. It's so much I told you so, stay out of hip hop. It's so much, yo, y'all looked up to him, but look now.
I ain't look up to him.
And that's where it's problematic, is, you know, culturally.
But I get what he's saying.
Because of the consistency of what has been portrayed in popular press, hip hop's not looking like a great place to have your children. And it's a shame, because for the good part of hip
we know that potty training can move to its own rhythm. And Pull-Ups has refashionable
hip hop. And I'm not saying anybody's bad, but the accusations are. But for those that appreciate and respect the art over here, regardless of what's going on, you know, we making children's programming and content, and we're playing instruments, and we're trying to be healthy, and we're trying to create an environment that is great for nurturing and evolving a child to become a better adult. And I don't want anybody to ever lose faith in hip hop. You know, because there are those in hip hop that were like, yo, I'm not trying to fit in, I'm trying to be out, so we could do it this way over here, and had faith.
So now listen, what do y'all think about? I just heard this, they not like us or not like us or whatever it is. Because one of my favorite content creators, his name is Mims, make it make sense? Y'all should check him out. But he kept, like, every time he would play something funny, it would be this thing where this lady would say, mustard on a beat, ho. And I was like, I listened to that Not Like Us by, oh gosh, Kendrick Lamar, I think is his name. And I heard him say that. I can't. Anyways, now it's really hella funny. But I didn't know that Kendrick Lamar drugged what's his name? What is his damn name? Why did I just take a blank? Drake. I did not know that he drugged Drake like that. Like, within a whole inch of his life. I was like, oh, now I gotta go see what was Drake's response, or what the hell did Drake do to Kendrick Lamar? I'm like, and I don't even know who Kendrick Lamar is. I couldn't pick him out of the lineup, y'all. But anyway, I'ma leave it here. Let me know what you guys think about what Dame Dash has to say I still feel like he has a hard on for Jay-Z. Like, I feel like he still is hoping. You know how some people, it's like they're just hoping against hope that one person that they really loved, that broke their heart, comes back. I feel like that's Dame. No shade, but I do. I feel like that's Dame. I feel like Dame wants to go back to the year 2001 when they was on that big pimping tour and they on that yacht or whatever, you know, in that video. I think that's where Dame is stuck. It's like he has Arrested Development. Like, because I feel like he really still wants that life, and it's over for him because in he almost like his mid-50s or something. So anyway, shout out to Dane Dash, y'all. Hit the like button if you like the content you are consuming, and hit the subscribe button if you want to continue to consume. Hit the notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live or if I upload. If you're part of the replay crew, please subscribe and share my videos. Again, everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, is for entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. But you guys go have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye.